so much. You know how we feel about Vince here on the show. He's, as I said, if there was a Hall of Fame, Vince's statue would be at the front of the building.
First
he
ballot.
is the greatest. First ballot, greatest co-host in the history of co-hosts. And dare I say, my friend, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Vince the lawyer.
My next guest is an amazing talent. Not only is he an amazing lawyer, but the guy is funny, he's creative. You've got to see some of the stuff that he's done on the internet. He's got great ideas. Nice guy. He's got a good bench, too.
Nice. Up! 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 Hell yeah! That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Good job.
He's got a good bench, too. Guys, it's Vince the lawyer.
This Vince guy is a champ.
He has no idea who Vince is, so he's like, who the fuck is this superstar on my radar? Vince.
Holy shit, Vince. You were on Shuli trolling the other day. This guy's great.
95% of what
Okay,
he's
that's good.
saying.
Now
Are you going to let me
talk
finish,
to
or are
him
you
about
just
that.
going to talk over me?
I mean, this Vince guy is a champ.
Vince is a gangster.
Holy shit, Vince. This guy's great.
Melton found his Yoda.
This guy's great. And apparently him and Casey are going to be doing a show together. I can't fucking wait. Holy shit. This guy's great. Vince is great. Fuck, is this good?
Vince is a gangster.
Good afternoon, Dues Payer fans. That's right. We're going to get into some of what happened over the weekend. A lot has transpired. Now the Dues Payer has changed his story again, and he wasn't really speaking with his good buddy and former lover, Isso. He was just lying to us because he wanted to cover up for Isso, who he thought was going through a really bad divorce. And obviously he was going through a divorce, and we're going to get into all the evidence to give to you, and then you got to make your decision how you feel. But then I think about this: what is our end game? Just because Shuli employed a pedophile, a known pedophile, to himself, is that something that we should persecute Shuli for? No. The answer is no, unless of course we know that Shuli was involved, and there's nothing to indicate that. I think it's played out to kind of say that the dues payer knew. My opinion is he should have known. My opinion, obviously, based upon his track record, is he is really, really bad at hiring people. Really bad. Really bad at who he determines to be his friend. Very bad at that. So we have to get into that aspect of the dues payer's life, because he's still giving us the smug answer. He is not admitting to us that he is very poor at hiring, very poor at determining who should be his friend. But we can't just go along with this narrative that somehow the dues payer is involved unless we see some evidence to the contrary. And I think that Kevin Guy is really into that. I'm not. But what I did uncover is I did receive emails from Isso's email address, his Gmail address. And I will get that to the FBI as soon as possible, probably today. Because throughout the time where Isso was first arrested, and then subsequent to that, he most likely was not allowed to use the internet, contact children, obviously, be around his own children. Now, the dribs and drabs of the dues payer telling us what happened after his good buddy, his best friend, the number one employee at TSN was arrested, was that he told the dues payer that he needed to step away. Well, why did he need to step away? Don't you ever ask that question, why? All of a sudden, he is arrested. All of a sudden, the FBI issues a public document, a press release. All you needed to know was Isolino's real name and have access to the internet. Then you would realize that he was arrested for having over 6,000 images of child porn. Don't blame any of us. Don't turn it upon us. You guys were the only ones that knew Isolino's real name. Isso Doe gives you nothing. You will not be able to get his name based upon that. The dues payer knew his name. The dues payer had access to the internet. This was not something, Gina Levy, that was needed, that you had to go to the police blotters. No, this was a press release by the federal government. You will know if your good buddy and his name, Isolino, is arrested. That actually occurred on May 26, 2023. Let that sink in, Bob. May 26, 2023. That's 16 months ago. 16 months. The federal government issued a press release. And you say, well, we don't check everybody every day. Well, If you knew his name, all you would have to do is type it into a computer and it would come up. This was not hidden. This was not private. So the question is, when did the Dewsbury know? Why won't the Dewsbury just come and tell us, when was the first time you had any idea? If you had a best friend and lover that you guys met in this kid's chat room smoking weed at night, remember, this is a long, long love affair. Wasn't someone that you just hired off the street. You hired this guy because you had a very hard feeling for him. You hired him, and then what you do? Eventually, he comes to you after doing all this work, all of a sudden and says, I don't have any access to any computers. I have no access to internet. I can't have access with kids. And by the way, I'm moving in with my family, and I can't communicate you via any electronic devices, which I have none. Wouldn't the next question be why? Why? In lies negligence, right? So we don't know if the Dewsbury intentionally is dumb. I won't say that he's intentionally that dumb when your best friend tells you all this, when your number one employee tells you all this. Remember, most likely Isolino cannot have access to any computers, any emails, any type of electronic device. No access to his kids, no access to his wife. This is your good buddy. We have all that. Here's a funny thing. Isolino can't touch his Twitter account. So as much as the Dewsbury is trying to sweep everything under the rug, Isolino's Twitter account cannot be touched. You know why? Because there's a court order, most likely, that he's not allowed to access any type of internet, any type of social media. So no matter what you do, if you type in ISODOH, ISODOH, you're going to get his Twitter and any other social media. He's not allowed to touch it. So as much as the Dewsbury wants to delete things, we get that, which is cool because we want the authenticity. We want the real aspect. We know the Dewsbury lied. Now he's saying he lied to cover up for Isolino, which could be true. He's not obligated to tell us the truth. Whether you like it or not, the Dewsbury is not obligated to tell us the truth. It would be nice, but he's not obligated to. And it's very plausible that what he's saying is true. The news story. There's a third story that the Dewsbury has now. First, he told us he didn't contact Isolino within the past year. Then that guy, Sketchy Press, beautiful job, puts together a montage of all the times he told us that he did contact ISO. Now, again, the Dewsbury could be lying there. Then yesterday comes out with another story. The third story, I was just trying to protect Isolino, which could be true. But Bob, it's time to get to the bottom of this. Show us your phone records. Show us the internet correspondence. Now, again, I referenced this email I got from Isolino. It was in October of 2023. Remember, Bob, on May 26, 2023, the federal government issued a press release telling everyone in the world, anyone with access to the internet and Isolino's real name, Isolino, you would know that he is a pedophile. You would know at that point. So I get an email, and you know what it said? At the bottom, it said a J. So it gives me this whole big email, but from Isolino's address, but it's signed J. Now, I don't know if that's Joe. I don't know who it is. But the FBI needs to know that someone was using Isolino's email address, or Isolino was, and we know for sure Isolino was probably not allowed to access any type of internet. So, Dewsbury, if you were communicating with Isolino, as you said you were, about 7 times, get to the FBI today and tell them how you were communicating. If you were using his Gmail account, because at a certain point, Isolino probably told him, look, man, I can't access anything on the internet. I can't access any type of phone. I can't access any type of internet. I can't even talk to my kids. I can't even see my kids or any other kids. And the Dewsbury, I'll believe that he's this dumb, doesn't ask why. And maybe he did ask why. And maybe Isolino said, look, this guy's so dopey. I'll just say, I'm going through a bad divorce. My wife's crazy. Therefore, I'm not allowed to access any computers, have any of my 5 computers, be on the internet, be on social media, have access to my kids. And by the way, for some reason, I can't work with you because that would be across state lines and via the internet. And the Dewsbury doesn't follow up, or he's so easily duped that he believes that. That could be the case. He could be that dumb in terms of business. And I explained them before, the people you keep around you will determine your future. The people you keep around you will determine your future. Not just your friends, Dewsbury, but also your business associates, who you hire. So the dues payer was abandoned by his staff on Friday night or Saturday night, one of these nights. And he goes on and he does his own little thing. And we're going to get to something funny because he come up with this very unique premise. This is not stolen. This has never been done by anybody ever. You know what they do? They go into quote unquote smaller shows and they try and bombard them with chats, super chats. It's funny, right? It makes you feel like a big shot. Despite the fact that the dues payer show is so small. I mean, so minuscule in real life in terms of real terms of dollars. So small. But he does it. And the coolest thing is we get to see how many people really are watching the dues payer, because when he goes into these other channels, we get to see the live viewer count. We get to see super chats. And the fun thing is, if the dues payer blocked you, you get to go in there and do all your super chats. You could say you're Isolino, and someone was doing that, and you could say all different things you want. It's a great premise that he came up with. No one ever did this in the history of YouTube. Never did this. Never gave major super chat amounts to someone who was struggling. This is unique. Finally, the dues payer came up with a topic that is on his own. He didn't steal this from Carl. He didn't steal this from Mr. Beast. He didn't steal this from anyone. This is property of the dues payer. And I have to give him credit for finally coming up with something that is unique.
Here's how the show works. We've been doing this the last few weeks on Saturday night. So Froggy and Discount back there, they go searching on YouTube for a show that's live right now. And we like to find the shows that have smaller audiences. Some are
dues payer, that's your show.
Just newly monetized and don't get a lot of super chats. Some aren't even monetized. And
listen to this White Knight Savior. Isn't that nice? What he's really saying is, I want to try and boost my ego up a little bit. Makes me feel better when I can pick on little guys. Like I could pick on Vince, always bullying me around. I could pick on some other show that's just starting out. He's not there to help him. He's there to feed his own ego because he's so big right now. Huge.
Frog presents a show for us, and we debate before we go in whether or not we think that show will welcome the TSN fans with open arms or reject them and shut down their stream immediately.
Again, this has never been done in the history of YouTube. So I do commend the dues payer for finally coming up with a premise that is his own.
Which we've had happen before. There's 134 people watching this.
I ain't, though.
Yeah.
I don't
Wow.
know.
These guys are huge.
She is.
So the the genius, Phil Russo, picks this first one and basically have more viewers than the dues payer. And I love that they're still on baby StreamYard so we could see exactly all the bookmarks that Phil used. Now, someone told me that he uses a different browser for when he's doing this, but you still get to see all the different things. And here's something unique that Devin told me, that they're using OBS, which is a better system that they should be using. It's not a baby StreamYard system. But what OBS does is it allows you to do a lot of overlays. Not to say that the super chats are overlaid, but you can overlay a lot of different things. You can do a lot of different fake things using OBS. I'm wondering why it's on. It could be something very innocent for sure, but they should be using some form of OBS to do their final product here. Stop relying upon baby StreamYard. Stop allowing the complacency to set in. Your show's supposedly getting better. Some of the shows that they try and make fun of have more subscribers in them and look a lot better than the dues payer. But this is the first one that he picks. And of course, what does Joe do? He attacks the size and weight of this female right here. Lest anyone think that these guys are so innocent. We heard the dues payer attacking my family last week, unprovoked. Now again, I cannot tell you that none of my family was upset about it. None of them were. I can tell you that. They thought it was funny.
She is.
You become a monster.
All right. Be nice.
What do you drop the link in the chat, you think?
I don't know. They got
This is what happens when the dues payer and Joe get together. It's absolute magic.
134 people. I'm not interested. Many great things about you. Basement dwellers want to romance kids.
Isn't that true? Bob, Gina, we had no idea that this guy Isolino could have anything wrong with him. Well, how did you meet your number one employee? You met him doing drugs in kids' chat rooms for video games. There's your red flags, guys, straight away. Then the next thing all any of you have to do, including your number one employee, is Google his name, Bob. You knew it. We didn't know it. Shuli knew it. Gina, May 26, 2023. I think Isolina was trying to tell you this yesterday on your show, was a press release. This wasn't something that was private. It was a press release. So people know, but you had to know Isolino's real name. Shuli knew Isolino's real name. Phil Russo knew Isolino's real name. So that's where the negligence sets in. And again, that doesn't prove that the dues payer knew. He either is really dumb and really bad at hiring people and bringing friendships in, or he knew. I'm going to side with the former, not the latter.
Dues at 11. Thank you.
Bakers.
No! I'm getting so bad.
What?
Oh.
I don't know.
What's the answer? Compared to women,
What the?
Love you.
What?
So they start to stream this show. I think this show has either more subscribers, but anyway, this show looks so much better than the dues payer. I mean, a lot better. They should not be making fun of this program. They should be utilizing it to make their show better. The longer you stay on Baby Stream Out, the more we got to see all of Joe's bookmarks here. We see everything that Joe looks like. Remember, last time we saw him perusing SHULI'S Anonymous.
Okay.
that's your answer?
I think so.
And check out the chat now. So, how fun is this? Anytime the dues payer does this, can everyone alert us? Because I don't watch the show anymore. But this is funny. You can just put in anything you want. Remember all their baby blocking? Remember all of you that have been blocked for criticizing the dues payer? Now, whenever they go and make fun of people, you can go in with your accounts that are unblocked and say whatever you want. Finally, you can have a voice instead of being a little baby in their chat room.
Because I think
Wrong chat, Larry. Wrong chat. This will happen a lot during this show. You're going to see a lot of people
Women love to
putting the wrong chat.
All right, final answer.
women. Yeah.
All right.
And again, I apologize. This is the dues payer on his own, but he finally came up with a new premise. So we got to give him some time to develop it.
Here we go.
She can't even focus. She's reading the
Yeah,
chat.
she's looking at the numbers.
That's
I
the right
freaking knew
answer.
that. Hey,
It's
They
almost
just
as if
jumped
they
to
leveraged that.
62 from like, where were they? 5?
They had 5 people watching.
So it went from 5 to 62. You would think the dues payer is 1,800 people, Rocco. They would actually boost this channel up. I don't know, maybe 1,800, right? Let's say half do it, 900. It went from 5 to 62.
Get
I don't remember, but it wasn't
the
many.
P word.
the P word.
Jesus, Larry, get your chat game together.
Thank you for the super chat. Does ISO own a percentage of TSN? I don't know, but it's a good point. Shuli said he named the show. That's a better point. The Petalino named the Uncle Rico show. That is his lineage. That is his heritage. That is what is going to last while he's in prison. So a known pedophile came up with the name The Uncle Rico Show. We know now that without The Uncle Rico Show, Shuli would be literally back to begging Howard for his job back or working somewhere else. There's no other moneymaker at the dues payer's life that's significant compared to The Uncle Rico Show. But the pedophile came up with the name. So dues payer, why is the name still there? If you give a shit about it, why are you perpetuating the name that a known pedophile came up with? You're deleting all of his shows. We already recorded all of them. But you deleted that. You tried to delete the tweets. We got all the tweets. But you're still keeping the name of the Uncle Rico Show. That's because it makes some money. That's despicable, Bob. Change the name of the show. Every time we hear it, we're going to think of the Uncle Pedo Show. But more importantly, show us that you give a shit. Show us that you care about the kids that your number one employee was violating. Don't perpetuate a name that Isolino came up with. Yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit. That's what we want to see. Not you hurt, but we want to see you actually care by your actions, not by your words.
Right.
Hit the like button, guys from the show.
Mars, wrong chat. Wrong chat.
Yeah.
It was so crazy last week that they just kind of popped in, and then we
Yeah.
did it again this week.
How fun.
Let's do this every week.
Okay, guys.
Put our subs
Wes.
up, guys. This is crazy. All right.
Yeah.
It is fun that you can finally get in and say what you want without these little babies blocking
Question
you.
5, Bree. When women are scarce,
They're like, I want to find really small streams. That guy looks like a trans man. Because I'll tell you what worked about India. Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
I was a fan of VTL, no more, total scumbag.
That's true.
Welcome to the team, pal.
Hey, Julie.
Yeah.
I've had a bunch of nerds arguing about Marvel movies.
I got a bunch of nerds arguing about Marvel movies. What are you guys? Are you guys the cool kids? The cool adults? Since when did Philip J. Russo and Shuli become cool. I like them, but I would never characterize them as cool in any way, ever.
Yeah, but one of them's a dinosaur and the others are all hiding.
All right.
You know?
Yeah, but your number one producer, your best friend, is a pedophile, and your other number one producer has attacked a 77-year-old and got his ass kicked by him and was arrested for it and lives in a mobile home, which I'm not putting down. But that's what you guys are. Why are you casting any doubt on anybody else, considering who you are? Now, you can make a lot of money being a nerd or being uncool on YouTube. I've seen it. I have clients that do that. But that's not the case that you're doing here. That's not what you're projecting to us.
It's like, I got to see the mess that we're changing the life of. Put Zen back on. No, I'm looking at him right now. He's back.
So what happened was all his employees bailed on him, and now he's trying to act as if they're back there trying to get on to the cool channel, cool show. None of them wanted to work with him.
Stage. He's got the dumb wig on, the dress. Hey, you're not coming on, asshole. What do you think of that? Fire Mike. Done. He's backstage too. Mike, get the fuck out. You're fired. Clean out your locker. Yes, we have lockers. Thank you. And we said we were going to do 30 minutes for free, and now we're going to finish this up. Behind the wall, we're on tier 2. Rhymes with Jew. So we'll see you guys over. Hey, thank you.
Oh, so what they did was, I guess, tease us with this brand new unique premise of a show, and then they leave us. Can you imagine? And you have to be tier 2, whatever the hell that means. But Dues Pair, let it be for free, at least for a little while. I mean, this is so great. It was so riveting. I was probably going to sign up had I watched this live and then listen to the audio going out.
Right? Have fun, have a drink on me. Have a smoke, Coke.
That's not my audio, it's the Dues Pairs.
And yeah, hit the like button on your way out. That'd be cool. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. And thank you. Thank you very much. And we'll see you guys here too in like 5 minutes. Bye, everybody.
I got little ass kids in the house. I can't be drinking beer right now.
The one and only Mr. Iso Doe. He's our button pusher. That's what he does, and the kids love it. The kids love it. Yeah. What did one of the kids say after you did that in class, Iso? Didn't he come up to you and he said what?
Does the FBI see this? Anybody know anybody at the FBI?
He never exchanged any phone calls, emails, texts, none of that for a year.
October 20th.
Now, some of you may have seen this before, but you have the Dues Pair saying we haven't exchanged any phone calls, texts, and none of that within a year. He made that statement in August of 2024, and the beautiful job by Sketchy Press here putting together a timeline of when the Dues Pair actually referenced Iso. Now, I didn't know because I don't watch the show this closely, but apparently he has been speaking with Iso according to him. This was at the time. Now, since this has come out and the Dues Pair was busted lying to us all, he has now changed his story. That happened last night, but at least we can document what's going on. You got to make your own decision. We're just reporting the news here.
2nd, 2023.
Iso, I was talking to him the other day. He sends his best.
Whoa!
November 22nd, 2023.
Iso's doing great. Iso's doing good.
December 3rd, 2023.
Wow. Iso's around. Iso's doing some family stuff.
Yeah.
He is a part of this team. He will always be a part of this team. And he will return shortly. We love Iso, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Backbone of this motherfucker.
Good man.
For 31st, 2000.
Oh, New Year's Eve!
I'll give your love to Iso as well. I was talking to him yesterday.
If you were talking to him yesterday, then get on the horn with the old FBI today, because most likely he wasn't allowed to speak with anyone. I don't know how you were doing it. Was he using a spare cell phone? But Dues Pair, what you can do with your information is potentially save one little infant. Remember, his affliction was for 0 to 2 years old. That's what he was into. That's what aroused him. He wanted to see those types of videos and pictures, and most likely those kids are getting abused. So the more time you waste trying to explain to us how you didn't speak to Iso, the less chance you have of actually helping a child, a toddler. Do you see how that works, Gina? We need him to get on the phone with the FBI today, not tomorrow, and report back to us the name of the agent he spoke to and exactly what he told them. We're not saying the Dues Pair is involved in any of this, but you cannot be complicit in your actions. You cannot sit there and say, oh, well, we don't know Iso. We never knew what an asshole Iso is. Yeah, we get that part. What are you doing to help the children? Because you perpetuated this. You paid a pedophile for years. Your money went to paying for whatever he wanted to do in terms of destroying the lives of little kids. So get on the phone with them and do it. And explain to them why you were using his Gmail account. You were impersonating his name. Now, I'm assuming that wasn't ESO, but if it was, I can guarantee he violated a court order by contacting me with ESO's email. But the signature said J. I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know anything about it, but you do, Dewspayer. None of us have access to ESO like you do. None of us. You guys were the closest of friends. But there are kids out there that were being abused, videoed, for which Isolino sought out and Isolino traded for. That's the way this works. So get out there today, right now. I know you're listening here. I see you watching. Stop watching this show and get out there and call the FBI right now.
He never exchanged any phone calls, emails, texts, none of that for a year.
Whoa! Whoa, these are a lot of lies. These are adding up.
March 2nd, 2024.
ESO's here, Bubba. ESO's always here.
Shuli's tell when he's lying, which I found out is Bubba. When he says it in a high-pitched way, because I heard it say it multiple times. So maybe he's lying to us, and he really is covering up for Isolino. I don't care. I don't care. I don't even care if Shuli's involved in it. What I do care about is him helping the authorities right now. Helping them. And don't come back on the premise, well, if they would have investigated, they would have found something at me. No, the FBI doesn't have all this person power to actually go out and do this. You have to help them. The only reason they came across this was because the wife actually went to the police station during her divorce in an advantageous way and did it. We're going to get into that wife later. Another despicable human being.
April 6th, 2024.
ESO's around. ESO's a part of TSN. He always is, always will be.
Well, that's your representation. Now go to the FBI and tell them that. You made this representation publicly. They're not looking that closely into this. But perhaps you can help one kid, Dewspayer. One kid. Stop denying it. Stop making jokes about it. You're the only one with access to Isolino compared to anybody else.
Whoa, wow, this is really kind of incriminating.
And I get that people are saying that this guy Kevin hates the Dewspayer and he has a motive to do this. I don't care at this point. I don't care if he hates him or loves him. There are kids out there that can be potentially helped. And the only one that can do it is the Dewspayer and Phil Russo. And Bob, if you are involved and you have communication with that Gmail that has ISO's name on it, then that's the prerogative is upon you to do something, not sit back and throw your hands up in the air and say, oh, he's a creep. That doesn't help the kids.
Isn't it? Does the FBI see this? Anybody know anybody at the FBI?
Yeah, and ESO's that guy. Exactly.
Right. So Joe's saying he's still there too. He's behind the scenes.
April 29th, 2024.
Is ESO going to be a DabbleCon too? You bet your sweet fucking ass he is.
August 2nd, 2020.
This is almost now. I'm getting scared.
Shout out to ESO. He's the one who fucking named it. He's a goddamn genius. There.
And there you go. ESO named the Uncle Rico Show. Why is it still called the Uncle Rico Show? Do you know why? Because it's something that they can profit off of. That's the disgrace, Bob. Change the goddamn name of the show. A pedophile came up with the name of the show. I'm telling you that the premise doesn't work anymore. Oh, John spit out of his mouth. Well, guess what? Your producer was watching infants with cocks on their face. At what point can John do something to trump that? Now, I have a lot of faith in the Duke, but he doesn't come close to doing any of that. So nothing you guys say is funny anymore, unless, of course, you totally disavow. And not only disavow, because that's the easy part. Take a hit here. You got to change the name because Pedalino came up with the name. You're calling him a genius. And also, yeah, it may cost you a little money, but we want to see you help the kids. Get to the FBI today. Give them everything you got. He could have been sneaking behind everyone's back and utilizing that email that you guys were using. Why were you impersonating Isolino's name in October of 2023? Gina, May 26, 2023, that's 6 months prior, it was made public that Isolino was arrested for child porn. And for the next 14 months, you have the Dewspayer at least claiming to be contacting him. I'm not blaming him for being involved. I'm not associating the Dewspayer with any type of child porn. What I'm saying is that now you have someone that has such a hard contact. Put the onus upon the Dewspayer to go and say, what did you do? Gina, you're a mom. What did you do? Because the guy that you thought was good, maybe he hid it from you, but the guy that you thought was good had penises on little girls' faces and little boys' faces. Infants. They're not even infants. So get out there and make sure the Dewspayer is helping the FBI today. I agree with this guy, Kevin.
So
He really is. Wow. Shuli's a loser.
he never exchanged any phone calls, emails, texts, none of that.
I don't know. I got an email from Isolino's email address. From his email address. Now, in fairness, it does have the letter J at the end. I don't know if that stands for Joe. I have no idea.
Here, no. All I knew is the guy that worked for me, and
No, there's a screenshot of him saying he's family. ISO's family. But now all of a sudden he's just some guy who worked for me.
Well, that's the thing, though, too, Shuli. It's so ridiculous. People who are into child porn don't tell their friends about that.
How do you know, Carl? How do you know? Is that what your child porn friends have told you? That they usually don't tell you, but they're going to tell you. Carl's now an expert on what child pornographers do. Interesting.
He tried to hide it from his wife. She found a thumb drive in his weed and popped in the computer. It's like these people are very secret.
Indicators. If you look at your husband and he's 45-year-old smoking weed in his basement, playing children's video games in children's chat rooms, that's an indicator. If any of you come to me and you want to be my employee and that's how we met, then the onus is upon me as the employer to vet you. And every once in a while, I don't know, Google his name. And when there's a press release that is made public by the FBI on May 26, 2023, don't say, Gina, oh, it's from the police blotter. I'm not supposed to get it. No, this is made public. And I'm not coming down hard on Eugene. I'm just saying Eugene has nothing to do with this. But stop apologizing for these people. Stop it. And let's just say the Dewspayer was completely negligent and had nothing to do with this. Fine. Today, contact the FBI with everything you have. You may be able to save one child. One. I don't have the information. The only thing I'm going to give to them is the email that's coming from TSN employees as they're trying to get me to go on one of their shows in October of 2023. It's from Isolino. That is going to be turned over to the FBI by me, Dewspayer. But I'm sure you guys, since you're seeing him every day, you're communicating with him, have more than what I got. But at least I'm willing to do that.
About that kind of shit.
Not secretive enough, are they? What say you, Brian?
well, that's the other thing. They go, you got to do a better job of hiring people.
No, Dewsbury, you don't have to do a better job at all. You're doing great at hiring. Just phenomenal. Where is the self-reflection? This is what we want to hear from you. We get there's not going to be a check off a box that says, are you a pedophile? But maybe meeting people in kids' chat rooms at 2 o'clock in the morning, is not the best place to find a friend or an employee. That's called negligence. Pure negligence.
I'll add child porn into the job application. Let's see how many.
Right. Do you live?
Thank you for the super chat, Club 102. A lawyer advising someone to talk to the cops. Of course. There's certain times where even attorney-client privilege doesn't apply here. We're not in that situation. The Dewspayer is not his attorney. He's not a clergyman. He's not a doctor. He's a friend, and he has the most information about this guy. No one else. Not Kevin. Don't blame anybody else but yourself. Nobody. Anonymous, go ahead.
Hey, Vince. Doesn't Shuli kind of look just like Joe Paterno? Because they're both short, about 5'3", with the big frames, and they both oversaw and monitored a vicious pedo working for him directly, Paterno.
100%. Here's the thing with Joe Paterno. If you don't know, he was a football coach at Penn State University, one of the largest universities, and he had a pedophile as an employee. And guess what? One of his other employees heard this pedophile in the shower with a young boy, 10 years old, quote unquote, the rhythmic slapping of what he can tell a body going into a boy's ass like this. When you hear that, Dewspayer, so he just assumed that he is having sex with a young boy. And what do? They cover it up. They thought that playing with this inflatable ball on a field that's generating millions of dollars is more important than protecting the children. That's why the quicker you act, the better. The quicker you help the FBI in any way, assisting them in any way possible can save one kid. Had anyone had the courage, not like this Carl here sweeping everything under the rug, the courage to say, Shuli, Get your ass to the FBI today with everything that you have. We know an email was sent from Isolino to Vince in October of 2023. That's 6 months after, Gina, it was made public. This is why they need pressure. Gina, I heard you yelling the other day. I think we have that on here. You scare me. You'll scare these little weasels. These are little weasels up here. You'll scare them quickly. You have a lot of power, Gina. Not just because you're extraordinarily beautiful. You have power over these guys. But don't let these chumps here, these little weasels, weasel out of what they could be doing. I'm not saying that they're involved. I'm saying they could help now. And if nothing comes of what they have, so be it. But at least you know, but 100%, this is just like Penn State. Penn State was a disgusting situation because they chose football over saving kids.
In a trailer? Hired. Can you live off of $1,000 a month? Hired. Do you have any side gigs like child pornography? Hired.
You know what you got to do? You got to do a Rorschach test.
Right, Rorschach.
Can you comment on the numerous clips of you and producer Joe saying ESO's still working there and would even be at DabbleCon?
Thank you for the super chat. You did the same exact show Friday. Vince and I will do the same exact show Wednesday, then Friday, until the dues payer tells us who he contacted at the FBI and how he helped them. That's it. And if he doesn't help them after giving them all the information, so be it. That's okay too. I'm not saying that the dues payer is obligated to actually help them to the point where it leads to someone being helped in terms of a victim, but he's got to do something. And here is yesterday's show where the dues payer is now coming up with a new story after he was busted by Sketchy
Some
Press.
of these clips were as recent as a couple weeks ago. Thanks. No problem. So originally when ESO left, he said he was going through an ugly divorce. And the first thing we agreed as a group was to not mention that ESO was leaving because...
So it was a group cover-up right now. And I get it. When I say cover-up, they don't want to harm ESO. Perhaps what he's telling them is the truth. He's going through a divorce, and that's actually the respectable thing to do. But the dues payer Bob is saying it was a group decision. No one in the group asked, why can't Isolino use internet? Why can't Isolino have access to any computer? Why can't Isolino do this dopey job on the side? This is not a full-time job. Not a full-time job at all. I did it in my spare time, and I created a channel that was sold that is 4 times the size of yours. You're telling me Isolino, wherever the hell he was, couldn't do this part-time? Why can't Isolino see his kids? Why can't Isolino see any kids? Why can't Isolino have access to the internet? See, Gina, you don't need to be a genius or an investigator to ask the question why. And then if they say well, he's going through a crazy divorce, okay, we know people that go through crazy divorces, but they're not prohibited from using the cell phone, the internet, access to their kids. I don't know.
That time, Muttering Jay was, going after producer Joe, digging up all his shit. And we were like, this is an ugly divorce. We don't want ESO shit getting out there. So
is anyone buying this story? So now they're claiming that because Muttering Jay was going after producer Joe, that was all public information. There's nothing Muttering Jay is going to get that isn't public. Why would that have anything to do with a pedophile? And I say this, producer Phil Russo looks amazing right now. The fact that Phil took out his gun on an elderly man, it's really not a big deal compared to what this other guy did. It's actually nothing. I have zero hard feelings towards Phil. Yeah, so Phil yelled at someone at a hospital. Okay, now I'm looking at that. That's nothing. No hard feelings. He's the employee of the year compared to Isolino.
We would just say ESO's still around just to keep the trolls out. He had no access to anything.
Bob, no access to anything. Were you part of this group? I know Bob is smart, and you can watch him do his show, and he does that act I can't read. Bullshit. Speak to Bob privately. The guy is cunning and he's smart.
He had no contact with anybody as far as work or payment, and all of us just assumed he's doing a divorce thing and figuring it out.
So let's just say the dues payer's new story, which is the third version now, is true. You don't think at all about asking him why and then following up? That's being complacent, Bob. That's why we're not going to allow Bob to be complacent. We're not going to allow Gina. We're not going to allow anybody around the dues payer to be complacent. Anonymous, go ahead.
Vince, Wouldn't it be funny if right now I was like, I'm gonna snipe flood Vince with my 3 fucking viewers, and you've got whatever 400 watching. I mean, what is the joke there? I really don't get it. Let's prove that we're ants compared to this fucking bigger thing.
You're bringing up a good point. So initially we went through the dues payer's new premise, which was done maybe 10,000 times, literally by a lot of channels. So it makes you feel good. Remember, the biggest desire you have as a human ape is the desire to be needed. The desire to be needed. When you give something to somebody, it doesn't help that person as much as it helps you. Your brain will explode with chemicals that make you feel good when you give something to somebody. Better to give than to receive. Exactly why. The feeling of being needed, the desire of being needed is your number one feeling as a human ape. It's not the desire to bang the girl in the next cubicle. That's strong, but it's not your number one desire. So remember that as the dues payer comes up and copies literally at least 10,000 different channels that have done this before. Yeah, so it makes the dues payer feel good. The problem is they can't find channels that are smaller than theirs. There's very few. You're at 20,000 subscribers, and whatever you're doing, when the dues payer was valuing his channel and the guy said that he would offer something similar to what they paid me for my other channel, it's not that much money. It just isn't, because it's not a big channel at all. 732, go ahead.
Hey, Vince, what's going on? I agree with you completely. Shuli should be morally unambiguous in his response. He keeps dancing around the margins of this issue. It's concerning that he wasn't curious about ISO's lack of access to electronics. That's number one. Number two, the best course of action, and I agree with you, would be for him to come forward, inform the authorities that he was either texting or emailing, as he has stated in that sketchy press video. And if Shuli and the Shuli network has nothing to hide, he should do that. However, if ISO violated the terms of his sentence, this could actually result in additional time and keep this guy off the streets and away from our kids.
100% right. Couldn't say it better myself. You're 100% right. That's why the onus, Gene, is upon you to press this guy. Bob's no longer going to carry that show like he's been doing since the beginning, unless you go to the FBI. I'm a mother. I held a toddler in my hands. Show me what you're doing. And if Isolino violated this order, even by allowing you to access his email, which would be a violation. These violations are very strict. They know these losers are going to try and figure out loopholes. Remember we were talking about John M. Melendez and, hey, I'll just give away all my assets because I just got sued. We figured all this shit out before. You're not going to outsmart us in that sense. Not in a million years. So they know that you're going to use a proxy to contact people. Why was I contacted in October of 2023 by Isolino? And this had nothing to do with legal representation, everything to do with the show. Why is someone using his Gmail account? You know why? Most likely, at the time, Gina, May 26, 2023, when the federal government made a press release, which is on the internet, all you do is type in the word Isolino, it will come up. The first letter, and his name is very unique. Type that in, it comes right up. You don't have to be an investigator. But let's just say the dues payer is completely dumb and completely negligent, which I'm on that side. I'm not saying he's involved. I'm towards the latter. But let's say that occurred. Fine. I want to know what they're doing with the FBI today, not tomorrow, today.
So that's really all the comments were. And by the time we were heading to DabbleCon, none of us knew any of this shit. So I didn't know that he was this fucking monster. And I was hoping to see him at DabbleCon. I hadn't heard from him in a long time. So, yeah.
And I thought he said, back when he was going through a divorce and he had to get a regular job.
Right. He was working with his family.
Can you tell you guys anything and you believe it? What does that mean? He had to get a regular job. Really what they're saying is he can't be on the internet. Do you know how hard it is today to work when you can't be on the internet? But that's the consequences of your actions. Bob, he's saying I need a regular job. This is a side hustle at best. At best. What are you really doing? Using baby StreamYard. And guess what? The dues payer didn't have any money when he was starting this. So don't fault him for hiring this dope that he got high in the basement playing kids games. There was no other person for the dues payer to hire. Do you want to be real about it? That's what it is. I don't want to put him down with that. Everybody starts their business small. The dues payer clearly didn't want to associate with a pedophile. That's not my angle. If Kevin wants to take that angle and he has proof to make that representation, then fine. But it's not my angle. He had no one there to help him. I know because I couldn't help him with this show. In fact, let's face it, Isolino did a great job. Isolino came up with this premise. Isolino came up with the name of the Uncle Rico. I mean, Shuli ripped it off from Carl, but it didn't have the name. He couldn't rip off the same name as Carl. He had to come up with a different name. Apparently, that's what Isolino did. If that's true, take that goddamn name off now, Bob. Gina, Mike, Zen, if you give a shit, you want a pedophile naming your number one show? You want that to be your heritage, your lineage?
Yeah.
Right. The way it was explained to me was it was going to get ugly over the kids, and he needed something steady and something, a real job. And so we understood.
Dewsbear, do you just believe that? After all this, he can't help you guys out at all? Can't access the computer at all? The internet at all? Now, again, I believe that they're just being negligent here. I don't think that he intentionally was involved in this.
So, but he was, look, there's no denying Iso is the one that helped me start broadcasting, doing all this stuff. You know, he helped us with everything. He was our only producer back then. We had no staff. It was just us and Iso. None of us knew. And at that time, he was part of the team, you know, up until we found out what we found out.
As is with any of people like that, or
sure,
yeah. I mean, you don't know until you know, and you've worked with, you know, people have worked with these people until you find out.
Mike, you're helping this guy out, not in a positive way. You should be telling him, guys, we fucked up big time. Let's just say we didn't know since May 26, 2023, 18 months, we didn't know that our number one guy, our founder, was a pedophile, even though it was publicized on the internet by the federal government. We have to say, look, we have to have a better system in place, Mike. That's what you say as you grow. I know the Dewsbury didn't know this initially, but the cover-up is going to be worse. Just come clean and say that we're really, really bad at hiring. Really bad at judging someone's character. And all we had to do, Shuli, was just Google the guy's name. And we're not just going to accept bullshit answers. He can't work with us. Well, why? Isn't anyone asking why? And then when he says the divorce, well, divorce doesn't mean you can't access a computer. Divorce doesn't mean you can't access social media. Divorce doesn't mean that you get all your computers taken away. Just ask why and follow up. You have to have some sense here. Put Bob in charge of it. Bob's smart. Bob won't let you off the hook that easily. Bob will ask the pressing questions. Bob actually knows what you're really doing. He always busts me whenever I'm super chatting in. He always figures it out. Bob's cunning. He can't figure this out?
Right. But that being said, let's go back to your theory. If my friend told me he was getting divorced and wouldn't be around for a while, I wouldn't immediately think that guy's into kids.
If the guy said I can't access computers, emails, anything electronic, I can't touch kids, can't be around kids, can't look at my own kids, can't be in the same room as my kids, I can't even communicate with you via the internet, no, then you have to start asking yourself why. And all you would have to do is type in his first name. We didn't know it was Isolino. Never heard of the stupid name Isodo. I had no idea what kind of nationality that was. Of course, it's got to be a Ginzo. Joe Paterno, another Ginzo. Maybe there is a pattern here.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe me and you are just idiots, Roy Ray.
No. You guys are great. You're doing great. Don't take any accountability. Don't do anything to make yourself better going forward. If you want to grow, stay the way you are. Be complacent. And don't help him at all. Just keep telling him, we could have never known. There's no indicators whatsoever.
Maybe we're just doing it wrong.
Well, again,
no, you're doing it right.
Also, if you kind of knew somebody, was doing that kind of thing, we wouldn't sound like we all got together and said, "Hey, let's keep this guy close to us. This could be good for us." You know what I mean?
Like, there were people.
Let's just keep him in the wings just in case that.
He pulls pictures fast.
Bob, they didn't get your joke.
You know what I mean?
There were people that worked behind the scenes that never wanted to be on camera. You know,
Zen just brought up a great point. Of course, if someone goes to you, most likely, and they say, "I'm a pedophile," we're not going to work with you anymore. We're not going to keep this guy close. That doesn't even register in the Dewspayer's head. He's looking for excuses. It wasn't that Isolino wanted to be off camera. He's on camera. We see the love that you have. We see the chemistry you two have together. It was beautiful. Beautiful. Man on man, love for each other. Not in a gay way, but it's beautiful you two together. And I know why you're hurt. And perhaps that's why there was a cover-up. But there's nothing to indicate to me that the Dewspayer knew about the actual pedophile behavior when he makes the actual hire.
Specifically because of the trolls. So, you know, I just assume, why am I going to fucking announce that this guy's going through a divorce so Muttering Jay can go dig up documents?
You're that scared of Muttering Jay that you wouldn't say your number one producer is gone? I don't buy that aspect.
You know?
I mean, this is his news story. He had to come up with something because he was busted. We know Shuli told us he never spoke to him. Sketchy press, beautiful journalism, came up with 5 different instances, Gina, where he said that he did speak with him. So now we know the newspaper comes up with this latest story, and it sounds plausible. It just doesn't make much sense.
Kevin's doing this thing that really is so far beneath him. This is something that like Rob Saul does, or Chad Zumock would do. I don't know if Chad's done this or not. I don't pay attention to him, but I know Rob's done this. Where now they're trying to say that because ESO, who was employed by the Shuli Network, or Shuli...
Thank you for Super Chat, Defunct. Shuli couldn't be honest if you paid him. Shuli couldn't be honest if you paid him. I don't know if that's a Jewish joke, but it doesn't matter now about the money. It all matters about your actions going forward. It doesn't matter what you covered up. If you did cover anything up, going forward, what are you going to do? 908, go ahead.
Shalom, Vince. It's Shuli. I'm having issues with the network, and I'm going to close it down. Got to go back to work now and get high.
I mean, apparently, if you work for the Dewsbear and you're literally in prison, I bet you the call came as a collect call from the prison. And the Dewsbear probably accepted the fact that, it's a bad divorce. Everyone goes to prison right after the divorce. I mean, how did he even call him after he got arrested? Probably called him from jail because these guys were talking every single day. Issa was a major part of this network, apparently, from all the research that I've gotten now.
It's whatever. Because he was caught with child porn, it's obvious that Shuli and people have brought it to me, and we were all involved, and there's all this cover up. And listen to this stretch from Kevin Brennan.
Unless they're watching Southern John. And nobody cares about them at all now, because of the kiddie porn. Go ahead, support them. Keep supporting them and their kiddie porn ring.
Really good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you as well.
Buddy, they're all buddies.
Oh,
Did anyone have anything happen to anybody this week?
He hates that. Oh, they're friendly with each other. They just hung out last weekend. Successful show. But what a shitty thing. And it's just beneath Kevin to say,
Carl's obviously using reverse psychology here. But again, he's from SUNY Brockport. So he believes amongst the people that he has around him that people believe is bullshit. This is obviously a classic case of reverse psychology. It's not working on me. It may work among the dunces that he keeps around him.
You watch the Shuli Network, you're supporting a kiddie porn ring. Yeah. No, there's this one fucking guy.
Well, technically you were. If you put any money to the Dewsbear, you were supporting someone that was perpetuating child pornography. Now, did you knowingly do it? No, I didn't knowingly do it. I'm part of that. I gave money that went to a person that was involved in watching child porn and probably trading it too. At least I know he's watching it. I can't deny that aspect. I did. For over a year, I did.
He was a piece of shit. We've all disavowed. We've all said everything you're supposed to say about a guy like that when you find out about it.
Talk is cheap, Carl. Let me see some action. You had the guy in your basement. Perhaps you can tell the FBI something about him. Something you know about him. How he communicated with you.
Yeah, right. It's like, this is disgusting. He's a worthless individual. I hope he gets butt raped every day in prison.
Well, that's nice. I mean, that's not part of our justice system. Regardless of what he did, he's entitled to a fair trial, and he's not entitled to be harmed. As much as you may think that he should be, he's not. That's not the way the system works. But this is all talk, all bravado. Let me see some action.
Right. Moving on. What else you want?
Chris, I don't know how close you were with Podcast Hitman. We've been through this. Like, it's crazy to find out that you were talking to a fucking lunatic, and it takes a while to really process that.
I've talked about it before. Podcast Hitman came on my show. He ended up murdering his...
So I guess there's a guy called Podcast Hitman, and I guess he ended up murdering someone. So what?
Girlfriend. Yeah. A friend of mine I went to high school with and played soccer with ended up murdering his uncle.
Who cares?
Not too long ago.
Like, I'm starting to see a pattern here, Carl.
Whenever you're arguing with someone and they start to bring in these distractions, they call them a red herring. But either way, it's distraction. Bring the argument back to the box. We're talking about the Dewsbear employing a pedophile. That's what we're talking about. Not your uncle, not some other guy you brought on the show. We're talking about the guy that you had in your basement. The guy that you broke bread with. That's who we're speaking about. We don't care about anyone else.
Yeah, right? Oh, everyone in your life is a child molester and a murderer? Yeah, but not me. I'm the only good one.
So I get it. That's all you can say. You can say, listen, the dude got caught. He did some fucked up shit. We're dealing with that. I saw they started deleting episodes too, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think that's kind of weird. But
Well,
Is someone disagreeing with Carl on his show? I mean, Carl usually just has the dunces around them. Does someone have a different opinion?
Shuli mentioned this on Point Dabble Point. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Correct.
And that's true. I mean, what is the newspaper supposed to do? If he deletes them, then yeah, they're going to say he's covering up. If he doesn't delete him, they're going to say that he's profiting off of a pedophile. But you know what he didn't delete? The name of his number one show, his number one asset, the Uncle Rico Show. You got to delete that, Newsberry. You can't delete the things that don't cost you any money. No one's watching those old shows. There was 600 views on the ones that we downloaded. We have them all. But either way, get rid of the thing that actually counts. That's what we're looking for, Gina, some action. If Shuli really cares, he would not keep the name that a known pedophile came up with. They took down any reference to Joe Paterno in Penn State because Joe Paterno is a disgusting human being. And it's very rightfully so. I know the people that go to Penn State and played football thought that he was the best thing ever, but he's not. He had the ability to stop it. He was complacent. Does that remind you of anybody? Everyone was complacent and say, we don't want to destroy the goose that lays this golden egg, that stupid football, perpetuating an inflatable ball up and down a piece of grass. That was more important than saving these kids. You have the opportunity to save some kids out there. Who knows the last video that he exchanged? Is that kid still being abused? Get to the FBI today. That's everyone that had any contact with Isolino.
Thing. So if he leaves up episodes where Iso's the co-host or something, people be like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
Shuli, Carl, he's leaving up the episode, every single one that was named by him. Let's see some action. Get rid of that stupid name.
Trying to get views and profit. I was like, he did the right thing. Scrape all of that shit off the internet.
Yeah.
There you go. Carl's telling you, scrape it off. That means every single episode of the Uncle Rico Show. They're not worth anything once you're done with them anyway. But you got to change the name. Carl's even telling you this.
Yeah, if you
get
have
rid
the
of that
option,
guy.
I understand that. But I get it. But it's kind of like sweeping shit under the there's no right way to do it, man.
He's not sweeping anything under the rug.
Carl hates when anyone disagrees with him. He can't even deal with it.
What should I turn to? Stuttering John? Yeah, Stuttering John's a funnier topic than child porn.
Not anymore, Carl. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter. What are you going to say? Everything you say doesn't compare to what TSN was doing. This is their number one guy. It's not funny anymore.
It's hard to make that funny. It's hard to make that
funny.
fun.
If it was a clown, that'd be kind of funny.
I'm not following you on this.
I don't know who any of these people are on Carl's show.
What, Jody?
Oh, I can make this funny. What if the child is a predator? What if it's a little kid that runs around forcibly sucking people's dicks? That's kind of funny.
Okay. I see the angle you're going with.
I've been working on it a long time, Carl.
I see that. I see that. So he's trying to say that I'm not.
God, that show is really bad. 310, go ahead.
Vince, I think it's important to point out that these types of crimes are on the rise under Biden-Harris because of these open borders. I mean,
yeah, you probably don't see it as much. I don't think so. I don't think me. It's more. It's like a white guy crime. I hate to bring the bad news to my Republicans that watch the show, but I don't think it has anything to do with allowing millions of people come in. And I always get concerned when I use illegal immigrants because they're not illegal until they're found guilty, and they're not undocumented neither. They're completely documented. Most of them are. They get money from us. They're clearly documented. I'm not sure what name to call them, but people that come into our country and that are found to be here illegally, then you can call them
bringing up this stuff, and he goes on later on the show and says it again. So I didn't know a lot about the ESO case and what was going on, but I did a Creep Off bonus show, if you want to check it out on our Creep Off Patreon, where
Always
Vinny
plugging, Carl.
did a little deep
Hell yeah.
dive and schooled me into what ESO has been up to since 2016. What a piece of garbage.
Do you believe Carl at all when he's saying that? He lacks so much authenticity when he's saying, what a piece of garbage. It doesn't feel at all truthful. He doesn't give a shit. And not that he has to give a shit, but when he's saying it there, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
The way he treated his wife and his family.
Treated his wife and family? None of them were affected by this when he was doing this. Treated them? What about the kids? What about the infants, Gina?
He could really just rot in hell.
I'm with you 100%.
He's garbage.
I'm with you.
He wanted to take his wife down with him. That was what he threatened her with. Yeah, so we did a Creep Off bonus show yesterday morning. Vinny came over here, and he did some great research into what actually went down with ESO and his wife and how she turned him into the police and all the evidence and all the shit that was going on. And it's like, wow, who knew? How would you possibly know
Again, how would you possibly know? First of all, there's no authenticity in what Carl's saying. Second, this is SUNY Brockport logic. No offense to SUNY Brockport. I'm sure someone that graduated from there has got some intelligence, but this is SUNY Brockport logic. I'm going to get into exactly why Carl is way off.
Something like that is going on, and we are addressing it on every fucking show that we're on. Everyone's talking about it, but Kevin wants this narrative that we're afraid.
Okay, Carl, here's why I call it SUNY Brockport logic. Now, you heard Carl, not upset about the kids, but wants to honor this wife. And in fact, in another show, he's saying how courageous the wife was in actually reporting him. Well, Carl, look at this. I know they don't teach this at SUNY Brockport. September 2016. Let that date sink in, Gina. September 2016. The wife finds the thumb drive in the weed grinder. Do we know anyone else that uses a weed grinder, smokes weed in basement, and plays kids games at night? Over 40 years old, girls, it's time to move on from that guy. But remember, the wife found this in 2016. Look what she found. Toddler aged to about 10 years old. They were naked. Toddler age, Gina, to 10 years old. That's 2016. Pay attention to the dates. They're very important. Now, the wife admits, CW1 as the wife, acknowledged not contacting the police at that time this incident occurred. What does that mean, Gina? From 2016 until May of 2023, 7 years go by. Over 7 years go by where she allowed this guy, Isolino, to perpetuate more harm on infants and children. Do you understand, Carl, how dopey that logic is? You understand how dumb that is to say that somehow this girl did something great? She was the only one, not the dues payer, not Bob, not Gina, not Mike, not Carl. She was the only one that knew and allowed it to go on for 8 years. And the only time she ever came to the cops was when it was during a divorce, when it was advantageous for her. She is no hero. She's actually almost as worse as Isolino for allowing it knowingly. We know she knew. She admitted there. Assuming that this is true, she knew, Carl. You big dope. You have Moonhead giving you legal advice. Moonhead and analyzing this. 8 years. That broad. Dumb broad. And I apologize to the girls, but that she did this for 8 years, allowed it to go on. You dopes. So don't be praising her at all. This has nothing to do with her. Why would you even talk about her? She's the second worst person in this situation. The only time she went to the cops when it was advantageous for her, you idiots. And again, I apologize to SUNY Brockport. I'm sure someone out there is intelligent that graduated from there. But this is so dumb to say. Absolutely dumb to say. Now, let's get into something funny here. Look, Bob Levy comes on. He's rocking out. He's got a new intro. Again, there's nothing wrong with your sound. I mean, we're supposed to be here to laugh, right? Of course, it's a hard transition from someone that's so dopey as Carl, who thinks that somehow that wife has no culpability whatsoever for fucking 8 years. That bitch knew. She knew. If you want to call someone a bitch, that's one of them. 8 years she knew, and this dope Carl's looking for any out, anyone to blame but himself. God, it's despicable. How many kids were assaulted and raped after she knew? 862, go ahead.
Enzo.
I have a video. I guess, get this. I have a video that was sent to me of F. Mammy and Isolino hugging. Do you recall that ever happening?
Don't make me sick.
No, I'm being serious. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well,
No,
it looks like you. Were you in
definitely-
Rochester at one point at that Flophouse Comedy Club?
I went to Rochester. Yes, I was there.
Yeah.
And yes,
Yeah, so you probably didn't even...
I have condemned this as well. And yeah, that's besides the point. I really just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. This disgusts me to a point where I can't even discuss it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate what's going on, but with regard to the wife, I mean, she knew for 7 years and didn't do anything. I get that she doesn't want to turn in her husband, but she is not to be praised.
No, absolutely not. And I don't believe in that. Doesn't want to turn in her husband. That's depraved. And when my husband strolled in at like 6 in the morning, I thought to myself, you know what? He's a healthy man who was probably out having fun. And I didn't ask him any questions because he was out doing what men do at that time of day, I assume. And I'd rather that than to ever even fathom.
Did you ever smell another girl's perfume on him when he came home?
No, but I have seen traces of female remnants in my car, if you know what I mean, or in his car, like a lipstick color that I'd never wear. He'll say it's my daughter's.
Now we know that he's we know he's a black guy, but does he ever go? Does he go just for snow bunnies on the side, or does he go for other girls as well?
God, he is just a lover of every woman of the world. You could bring him any size, shape, color. He loves everybody. That's the problem.
I mean, and the good thing is, at least they're at an age where they're not prepubescent, and that's the big thing. So we're back here at Bob's show, and it's off to a pretty bad start. He had a rocking intro, and then he couldn't figure out how to get himself on the big screen, and now the sound's not working either.
Sorry, I started drinking a little of Whatnot Chaser's wine, but look, I'm the one that muted it. All right, but welcome aboard. Get your seats. Thank you. Some of my balls. Brian Charles, $2. $2. Disgusting. You talk to Shuli. I've never said anything like "What are you wearing" or anything like that. So, yes, thank you, thank you. He said disgusting, and how I talk to Shuli. You know, yeah.
What are you supposed to do? Rules.
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 It fucking rules. Brian Charles, $2. Why did Shuli lie about talking to Izzo last year? I don't know if he told. I have no idea. I just know when he found out and what.
He never exchanged any phone calls, emails, texts, none of that for a year.
October 22nd, 2023.
So I was talking to him the other day. He sends his best.
November 22nd, 2023.
Isso's doing great. Isso's doing good.
December 3rd, 2023.
Wow. Isso's around. Isso's doing some family stuff.
Yeah.
He is a part of this team. He will always be a part of this team, and he will return shortly. We love.
This is interesting because a lot of the tweets that were sent can't be deleted. This is from May 11th, 2022. My bro Isso is family, so help my family. Or just share. Family, so help my family. Now, again, Bob, maybe the newspaper was covering up in a attempt to help Isso out. Not covering up the child porn, but covering up for a friend saying he's going through a bad divorce where he can't access any computers, can't touch the kids, can't talk to kids, can't be near his kids, can't live with his kids, can't go on a cell phone, can't access the internet, can't email. Maybe that's because of the divorce and the newspaper bought it. I'm saying I believe the newspaper. I believe that he's that naive and dumb that he believed that. I do. I mean, you can call me foolish, but I believe that the newspaper is that dumb.
Love Isso, man. Yeah.
And I say dumb in a nice way. I don't know what to say. I'm not calling him physically dumb. I just say that he's just dumb in believing this.
Yes. Backbone of this motherfucker. Good man.
For 31st, 2000.
Oh, New Year's Eve!
I'll give your love to Isso as well. I was talking to him yesterday.
He said to us, and it was fucking whoa, and we were all fucking shocked. It's a sick thing, man.
Bob, the next thing you say is, how the hell can we help the victims? This is our number one guy. This isn't a stranger. You're not Carl. Carl's not involved. You're not F. Mammy just hugging him. This is your number one guy. This is the newspaper's best friend. You have to say the next thing. Oh, it's gross. Yeah, we get that. That doesn't help the victims. Get out there with all your information. Do you have emails from Isolino's Gmail account like I do? I have one from October 2023. Who sent that? Who gave him the authorization? Who gave him the password? Remember, if you're bypassing the court's order, Bob, most likely you can get more time. He's not sentenced yet. If you know that, get that in there. You care about kids. You say that child abusers like this should get the death penalty. Well, if he was violating the court's orders, and it has to be vetted and it has to be proven, but if he was, help them out. We get you're going to say that it's disgusting. What could we have done? We never could have known, despite all these red flags. We never could have known something was going on since that May 26, 2023 public notice. It was a goddamn press release on the internet. You can't get any more public than that.
There's sick people out there. And that's all I mean, that's all I know, and that's all I can say. This is all him. He did this to himself, man. And
in translation, we're going to just keep being complacent. No, you're the one who had access to it. Make sure you tell the FBI today, too.
it's not going to be good for him. It's not. What? What? Stacy Zito, $2. Thank you. MAGA Gina supports PDF Shuli Network.
What the fuck's PDF?
Gross. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Don't be stupid.
I know.
Get a brain.
Look.
Oh, I think this is where Gina starts yelling. I get so scared when she yells.
You work too hard at this. You just, it's Vince's army.
Don't even fucking go there when it comes to that fucking shit, because
Yeah.
you don't fucking throw that shit around. Let's be mindful of the children.
Yeah.
And not fucking joke and fucking throw weird and wild, stupid accusations around at people that knew nothing about it. First of all. Second of all, have some respect for the victims in this fucking case. We don't support any type of child abuse or sexual child abuse at all. Never in a million years would we ever have anything to do with anyone that had anything to do with something like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Holy shit, my balls shrivel up when I hear that. I mean, every guy that's had a mom yell at him, we go right back to that. I'm scared of Gina, and I almost want to agree with her, and I sort of do. I'm not saying you guys had any involvement, but you have to get out there and tell them what you know before the sentencing. It looks like to me either Isolina was contacting me or another TSN employee was violating that court order and utilizing his email to contact me, Bob. But if you have emails that come from Isolino's Gmail account, then make sure you and Gina bring that to their attention, because he could get a longer sentence. He's only facing a couple of years right now.
And by the way, pick up our T-shirts.
See, this is why Bob's a professional.
She got fine. Hit the like button. Let's go. Reverend Belly, $4.99. Thank you. We all saw the clip of Shuli lying about Izzo. Will you apologize on his behalf? Bless you, Gina.
Yeah, it's a good point, Bob. If your leader is not going to take accountability, you step up. You become the leader. Those dopes around Shuli, they'll respect you more. They don't know it. They're all feeding into his narrative of not taking any accountability. You step up and take accountability. Say, I'm going to apologize for what Shuli should have known. I'm going to apologize for Shuli's negligence. Yes, that's what a leader would do.
Don't do anything on anybody's behalf. You know what I mean? I apologize for what?
Have you talked to Iso in what? Fucking a million years. Have you talked to him?
No.
Good question by Gina.
I don't even know how long.
It's been a while.
You know when the
when the
last time
show?
we saw him was the last DabbleCon. DabbleCon 1.
Oh no,
That's the last time
was
I
it
saw
Pottstown? I don't even know. I really don't even know.
I don't think he was at Pottstown.
No, he was. There was 3 producers at that time.
Yeah, it was weird. When I went to Pottstown, I saw 3 guys. There was one guy that looked like Shuli, one guy that looked like a vagabond. I guess that was Phil Russo. And then another guy. I don't even remember. I don't remember Iso visually. He didn't introduce himself to me.
Well, I don't even remember.
Yeah, that was over a year ago or something.
All only to do with podcasting. That's it.
Yeah.
So, and you guys know it.
You know it, Billy. You know, our band isn't going to go far with this kind of attitude, Billy, you know?
And as they leave that with a joke, Reverend Billy, it's on you, if you're a real journalist, to follow up and get the real answer. Don't just allow them to say that they disavow it and then make a joke. You got to follow up.
We're already fucking, we're going to open up for Corey Haynes or whatever. And we're going to fuck people up. Mike Shitty Internet provider, $2. Thank you. I'm a TSN ball washer.
Certainly are.
Admittedly. That's good. Because we have fun there. Reverend Billy, $4.99. Thank you. Shuli talked about Izzo still working for TSN 82. Now, he's definitely not. He wasn't around for a long time. Believe me. It's a fact. It's a fact. Look, I have nothing to lie about, you know?
Is Izzo going to be a DabbleCon too? You bet your sweet fucking ass he is.
But he hasn't been there since basically around Pottstown, whenever that was it.
And in fairness to the Dewsbury, he could have been lying intentionally to cover up for that nasty divorce that Issa was going through.
Because he went, I believe he went there, and I don't know the exact times of everything, but...
March 2nd, 2024.
Isso's here, Bubba. Isso's always here.
April 6th, 2024.
Isso's around. Isso's a part of TSN. He always is, always will be.
Whoa! Julie says also will be at DabbleCon too. It's timestamped. Don't lie to it. If he said that, okay, Izzo probably told him he probably wasn't going to jail, and Julie doesn't know if fucking what this guy's doing. It's something you don't just tell people. You don't have a T-shirt that
The federal government told it in a public announcement. It was a goddamn press release. But you had to know his name. You knew his name. The Dewsbury knew his name. Phil Russo knew his name. But you have to go out there and look. And really just got to ask questions. And questions that get a response that are not logical. You got to follow up. That's all. That's all we're asking for.
says, hey.
And if you were that naive and that negligent and you didn't do it, then just say that. But just admit to us, yeah, we fucked up royally here. I mean, all the red flags were there and we fucked up. And we didn't even follow up at all.
I'm into kiddie porn. It's not like that, you know? That's why it's so fucking evil. And it has to be stopped.
If it has to be stopped, then you have the power actually to stop it here, Bob. If you had communication at all, check your emails. Search ISO. That's what I did. And I popped up one that had 10/2023. It doesn't appear that it's ISO writing it, I think, because at the end there was a letter J. I don't know what that J means. But you better believe that it's going to the FBI today, Bob. That's what I'm doing. I would imagine you, Gina, everyone else in your emails has more than just what I have.
And it has to be stopped from the top.
I mean, if someone like was impersonating ISO, utilizing ISO's email, which will be against the court order if it was Phil, get it to the FBI today. I don't know who the hell was using ISO's email, but that's not for me to decide. Figure out who at TSN was utilizing ISO's email. This is clearly after he was arrested. It was 6 months after he was arrested.
Top people, too, that, you know, that make this shit from people that, you know, Cardiff said what I said whenever this broke, you know? I said, if it wasn't for, you know, people that do this, they're hurting people by doing this because people are making this for that, you know? Yeah. And I don't know how they can't shut it down everywhere right off the bat.
Right.
I mean, how do you advertise it as, you know?
How can they not trace it back to the people who are actually putting it out?
Oh, they can, Gina. They can do it. That's how most people get caught. But they need someone to actually initiate it. Remember, that dopey wife that Crazy Carl was praising, she knew it for 8 years. 8 years, Carl. Go back to SUNY Brock. I can't stand talking bad about SUNY Brockport. For those of you who don't know, SUNY State University of New York has beautiful universities. They got some colleges, and they got the lower end things like SUNY Brockport. But that doesn't mean that you can't learn something there. But to come out and say that this woman was so great because she sat on child porn for 8 years. 8 years she knew. And Bob, the only thing you can do now is not tell us that child porn shouldn't be around. We get that part. We know that. We want action. Action. Not your words, action. Tell us who you sent everything you have on Isolino, who you sent it to, what time, and report back to us. Then we'll have a little bit more respect for it.
It's crazy.
And demand that Shuli does the same, because Shuli's the next person in line besides that wife that had access to it.
So I don't know, but look, nobody, any of us knew what was going on. Believe me.
Well, you knew in May 26, 2023. On May 26, 2020, the federal government put out a press release with the guy's name and telling you over 5,000 images. That's all you needed, and access to the internet. Even if you had AOL dial-up, all you needed was the guy's name. And it just so happens he can't work, can't access computers, nothing. and no one does anything. And again, Bob, it's not your job necessarily to do that. You're just working there. But it would at least help Shuli going forward that you went to the FBI with everything you have, you're cleared. Whoever was impersonating Isolino, or if it was Isolino that emailed me, at least it's cleared. But then they could check that email to see if that leads to any other victims. Make sure you get it to them today.
You know, fucking none of us. Because they would have been fucking, you know, they would have investigated Shuli, you know?
No, they wouldn't. They have no idea. They don't have the time to go through all that. This isn't the biggest crime in the world. Not by far. But you have the power to help them out now.
And if they did, they'd find nothing because nobody knew.
You don't know that, Bob. At least give it to the authorities and let them figure it out.
I seen how hurt he was when he talked to me about it.
Of course Shuli was hurt. The guy was in love. He was in love in a non-gay way. As in love with a man as a man could be. You see it in them. They shared great interests. They shared getting high, staying in a basement at night, and in children's child video game chat rooms. They loved it together. And they loved wrestling. I mean, these are all signs of immaturity, right? Usually you mature past that. These are all indicators. We didn't know nothing. We had no idea. Yeah, if you went to SUNY Brockport, you had no idea. No offense to SUNY Brockport. I'm only judging on one person. I should not make a generalization based upon one person, but that's what I do.
And we support the death penalty.
We support the death penalty.
If you do, then get to the FBI today, Gina. You have the access to that email account with Bob. Search, type in ISO, Gina, and tell us what you receive out there. Show us. Don't just tell us, show us. Type in ISO right now and email it to me.
So vote for us. Thank you, Billy. Being an asshole, buddy. The Real Miami, $2.
Now, this is an important super chat.
Thank you. You look great with a tan, almost as hot as Vince the lawyer. Vince is a Vince looks like, you know what I mean? When you see a baby, you're like, look how cute. That Vince is.
I don't know if you should be saying that, Bob. I didn't even hear you say that. Probably not the best joke you can make right now. Give it a few weeks.
He's too small. He can't be a man at that height.
Some girls like that.
Some girls like that. They're called midgets. Any of you midgets, girl, want to date Vince? Look, he's very tiny. You know, it's unbelievable. He's like a pocket man, you know, because you can fit him in a pocket. I've never seen anything like that. But he looks like a big crab. He's got the big arms and a little butt, and he goes like this.
That's true.
Whatever that is, you know, he does it. This show to Rumble so Gina can change her clothes.
Yeah, now we're talking.
I can't even change her mind. I can't even change her mind. Oh, there you go. Reverend Billy, 199. Bob, when Shuli tears.
God damn, Gina's looking good. Now, she's wearing the queen hat. She is not the queen of the Dabbleverse. She's a princess of the Dabbleverse. We know F. Mammy is the queen of the Dabbleverse, especially now that she's complimenting me.
Tells fables. You need just like fable. He's having more fun. I know you're not evil. I know you're not. The band can't last like this, Billy. Not gonna happen. Brian Charles, $2. When was the last time you talked to Izzo?
Good question. When? Not if you did. Not about his bullshit. Not you don't believe in child porn. When?
Last night. Now, I don't really talk to. You know what I mean?
We've never. I mean, we did that.
If you're training someone on how to answer a question, this is a very good example. The question asks for when. The only thing you want to hear out of their mouth is a date or never. If you start talking and rambling on, it's a poor answer. Now, again, they're not trained to answer questions, but notice how we're not getting a date.
When Lovebirds. I think that's the last time.
No, but when you're in the background, you know what I mean? Like, I've only talked to him when he was behind the thing.
Well, if he was in the background, most likely he was using internet, Bob, and the FBI needs to know, was he violating a potential court order that he couldn't be on the internet?
It sounded like we never talked to Issa. Issa was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
We had
well, which one is it? You talk to him, or he's a sweetheart, or you never talk to him?
So weird.
This is why it's so crazy.
It's totally insane.
Dude, a lesson. I mean, well, so I guess we shouldn't trust anybody. You, him, her.
Yeah.
No. Stop with the excuses, Gina. No excuses here. Look for the red flags. Clearly, you made a huge error in judgment. Now, the only thing you can do that's positive is learn from it. Where were the red flags? How did Shuli meet him? Did he meet this guy high, doing drugs, in a basement, on a kid's chat room? Kids games, video games, over 40, over 30, over 25? If all those things are there, those are red flags. You don't have to distrust everybody, but those are good red flags. Same thing as a red flag when you see a girl with a tattoo. You know she's crazy, but you know she's going to be fun. You have to make that choice.
Anybody, because if it was ESO, then it could be anybody.
Like he didn't even have creepy eyes. Like, you know what I
No.
mean? Like you see a serial
Just
killer
like
or
a
something.
sweet little guy, like totally polite and nice and friendly, and you know.
That's called being fake, guys. And you have to pick that up. Pick up on when people are being fake to you.
Everything that you would never. I mean, what does a
That's
child molester look like?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he pled guilty to child molestation, but child porn, I guess, or
Whatever it is.
whatever
yeah.
you're allowed to say.
Yeah. Who knows? But it's sick. It's sick. No matter how you fucking say it.
Super chat. I don't know what you're.
No,
what
but
that
I'm
even
saying
means.
to Reese, even if you put in like a search of him, how would that come up if he was never caught?
Bob, all you had to do was know his first name. If you type in Isolino right now, go to Google and type in Isolino, you will get the public document that the federal government put out.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You can catch it now. You can find it.
Now we can find out, but how
Yeah.
how would we have known?
May 26, 2023, 18 months ago, Gina. 18 months ago. Or whatever it is, 13 months, 14, 15, 16, whatever that is. May 26, 2023. That's how you could have known. They made it public for you. There's a press release.
Oh, by the way, if I ever come in across your path, I need to see all of your personal electronic devices.
No bad attitude. No. You all have to admit that you fucked up, and now you just got to realize, I don't know, we just have to type the person's name in for 16 months. If you get these bullshit excuses where I can't work anymore, no access to children or the internet, type in the guy's name. Say that's how we fucked up. That's how we're going to become better in the future. I don't blame people for failing. I believe you have to fail and keep failing. Without failure, there's no process. There's no progress. You need to fail, but stop with the excuses. We fucked up not only in detecting this guy, but then post-detection, we're now making excuses for each other. We have to figure out how to make a system so that we catch this.
He's got a lot of fans. You can see that on his Patreon. Tell him Steve Dave. It's also his Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Brian Johnson.
Now, again, I think the only one here, I don't know this guy, Brian Johnson, who's right here. We know this is SUNY Brockport, and we don't know where everyone else is. And it doesn't matter. There's a difference between educated and intelligence, right? Just because you're quote-unquote uneducated doesn't mean you have intelligence, and vice versa. Doesn't mean anything. Point is, after all this goes down, the one person you would think that they wouldn't have on is Jared from Subway, and somebody that was accused of potentially violating New Jersey's statutory rape laws. Now, this is this guy, Brian Johnson. Can you believe that they put this guy on? And again, I get this is all low-level entertainment. These aren't the brightest. And I apologize to SUNY Brockport. But no one thinks, hey, maybe this is the wrong time. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, supposedly this guy right here with this long, creepy beard was accused of violating New Jersey's statutory rape laws, not by, I don't think, the government, but by somebody. And it could be completely false. I have no idea. But the only time I heard of this guy is because someone came up with the story. I'm going to show it for you. I don't know if it's true or not, but wouldn't you want to at least stay away from any potential?
Brian who? Brian who?
Oh, right. Actually, the way I found out about it was the dues payer making that claim.
Someone find fish.
Here's what I know. Here's what I know about Brian Johnson. You ready?
Now, Brian Johnson is that guy with the creepy beard who they brought on as their first guest right after all this broke.
For this, since we're going to fucking throw it all out there on the table. Here's what I know about Brian Johnson is the minute this guy opened his mouth, this guy sends me a fucking video of his buddy Kevin Smith talking about Brian Johnson fucking some 14-year-old when he was 20.
There you go. So Dewsbury is saying that guy, Brian Johnson, was having sex with a 14-year-old while he was 20, which would violate New Jersey's statutory rape laws. Now, again, in fairness to the Dewsbury, he's not saying he knows that for a fact. He's saying somebody told him that. And in fairness to Brian Johnson, this could be completely false. And I don't want to make this allegation. I'm not Brian Johnson. I don't know what you did or what you didn't do. But either way, in fairness to Brian Johnson, this is what's being alleged. So I would think maybe you wouldn't have him on. Have anyone else on besides Jared and him on your first show back.
About that.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and that's on YouTube. That's on YouTube.
That's
So I'm sorry I'm not funny enough for you, Brian. I'm sorry that you feel I've ripped off Who Are These Podcasts, but guess what I don't do? Fuck 14-year-olds
anymore.
I love
Thank you for having me, Shuli. Thank you. It's an honor.
Pleasure. And Brian has the creds to be a TSN producer. Sign him up. Brian, did you tap John's couches?
I wouldn't go near those couch cushions.
Oh,
They
how
look too
fun was
stained
that?
up.
That was an amazing.
God, the collective intelligence of all these dopes is got to be low. It has to be low. So you hear the reference to tapping couches, and we're going to get into exactly what that is. I had no idea actually when it occurred, but you would think a SUNY Brockport grad, the Dewsbury, who knows this guy Brian Johnson, he's the one that was perpetuating the allegation that he was involved in statutory rape, and Brian Johnson himself would have any clue what that
Amazing
means.
part of DabbleCon. Just
There was a period where Brian Johnson, our friend Brian, was I was like 18, 19, and Brian was like 20, 19 or 20, and he fell in love with a fucking 14-year-old girl, and they had a very chaste yet romantically based relationship.
Uh-huh.
And I remember being at the rec center in Highlands. We all used to work at the Highlands Recreation Center, and having, like, it drove Walter up a fucking tree. Like, Walter was just like, kind of the way I am now. It's just like, it's just insane, stupid, and fuck.
Now, again, these are just allegations. I don't know if they're true, and I don't even like putting this up here, but I just want people to see what is being alleged. It's not fair to Brian Johnson if this is false or if it's true. He should have the opportunity to respond to it. I don't even know if he ever did. We know that the Dews pair, when he felt hurt, he responded with this allegation, and I wanted to give you the basis of what they're talking about in terms of couch tapping.
Why would you ever in a million years? She's a child, and how can you have anything to say to her? What do you fucking talk about? And we'd make fun of Brian because we call him the couch tapper, because one time we were there at his house and she was there too, this chick. He sat on the couch and he tapped the couch next to him, and she came and sat down like a fucking dog. So we called him the couch tapper for a long time.
Brian has,
which is a great nickname. I mean, I think it's funny. Look, 20 and 14 is probably legal. If you talk about biological, it's probably, there's nothing wrong with it biological, but this is what the laws that we have in most states, and not necessarily in most countries, but in most states. So when you see this super chat, you hear the reference to couch, and none of these dopes have any clue what's going on.
the creds to be a TSN producer. Sign him up. Brian, did you tap John's couches?
I wouldn't go near those couch cushions.
Oh,
They
how
look too
fun was
stained
that?
up.
That was an amazing part of DabbleCon. Just having the
Yeah.
couch cushions. Vinny went out and bought the black lights. People were going up and really.
Oh my God, Carl is naive and not the brightest bulb at all. Not the brightest. And again, we know we got duped to buy a place at Cape Coral, but I am not going to keep putting down SUNY Brockport at all.
examining them. And what's crazy about John's couch cushions, if you look at them from afar,
Carl, no one cares about the couch cushions anymore. The joke is on TSN. You have a pedophile known that was in your basement, hired by the Dews pair. Then you bring on a guy who Dews pair made a claim about violating the statutory rape laws. The joke is about that. And all you can think of is the couch cushions, John's stupid couch cushions. And admittedly, that would have been funny, but for the Dews pair employing a known pedophile. That's the funny thing. That's the crazy thing. It's a scary thing. None of this is funny anymore. And you totally missed that too.
you see the one big could be cum, could be snot stains running down. But then when you get up close and you see how stained it is, they're covered in shit. And John was sleeping on that couch.
Okay, with people, with the chat arguing with
God, it just doesn't work anymore, guys. Doesn't work.
people when it was against Bob and KB. Now he has BJ on against you, and you are against him.
No, that's not the same thing.
BJ is Brian Johnson.
No, and
the guy with the white creepy beard.
It's not the same thing.
I don't know if he wants you to call him BJ, by the way, but no, no. I just think when he got into the fight with April and Aaron and started going in
Love you.
about her mom and family members, that aren't doing content about him, that aren't doing shows busting his balls.
I feel bad. I never watched one show with Issa on it, and I didn't even realize the chemistry these two had together.
I thought that was bullshit. And then he continued to do it. And so, and you know, so that's my issue with it. I have no fun. I don't care. Brian Johnson or whatever the fuck his name is can go on every show in the world and talk shit about me. You guys are literally the only ones who give a shit about it. I could care less. Never met the man, never going to. So he can feel however he wants to feel about it. I've had people, the same people that hated me leaving the show, the Stern Show, hated me when I was on it.
That's true.
I've been surrounded by hate. That's the nature of the fucking world that I was in. So it's all good, man. I'm fine. If you think a guy like him is going to shit.
Yet for some reason now your new excuse is that you didn't want Muttering Jay to bring the hate to Issa, who actually has no problem going on camera. No problem at all. That's your latest excuse?
Hate me. Then you've never been on the Stern Fan Network in its prime. Those people were fucking monsters.
He was laying down his entire body across that couch.
Hey, Couch Tapper, Jim Grindle found out about your statutory rape and was disturbed. He said you make him sick.
There you go. I mean, if there was any clue, any type of doubt as to what they were talking about with Couch Tapper, this guy's spelling it out for you guys. And look at these dopes. And as dopey as you can be. And I don't even think this creepy guy with the beard has any clue what the hell they're talking about. I really don't. I think they're really that naive to the situation.
I don't know who Jim Grindle is.
Yeah, that could.
I mean, I don't know who Jim Grindle is either, but still, when you hear Couch Tapper, if that was your nickname, assuming any of that was true, what Shuli was saying, you would come to the conclusion that he's talking about you and address it. Let us know if it was true or not. It's okay. The statute of limitations has run on your statutory rape claim that the duespayer was perpetuating.
That could be directed at any one of us. That could be directed at any one of us.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the thing is, though, also, a lot of guys out there who are saying that people have been sitting on this for a year, these are the same people who find high school transcripts from 1982. It's like,
I mean, and this is hilarious, too, because look at the duespayer. He's getting anxious now. Remember when your body starts to go in fight or flight mode, you start to do those grooming patterns. He knows that it was Carl right here that got John Edwards' transcripts. He got the transcripts, and I feel bad. Actually, Zen is coming across at least a lot more sane to me compared to the rest of the nuts at TSN. Not you, Bob or Gina.
If it's out there, why didn't you find it?
Right.
Why? I mean, if everything is out there in public knowledge.
Dopey, we didn't know his first name. May 26, 2023. Look it up, Zen. That's when it was made public. That's when your leader right here had the opportunity because he knew his first name.
It's like, unless you're, people who are looking for shit on us, people who are looking to take people down, that's kind of a red flag. If you really wanted to like take somebody down, it's like, it was definitely a fucking shock and a half.
And here it is. Here's the goddamn press release. The only one that could have done it was people that knew his first name. The only one I knew who knew his first name was Shuli. I don't know if Phil Russo did at all. And there you go, Gina. May 26, 2023 on a Friday. A Friday. All those years ago. Think about that. That's all you had to do was put in his name. It's right there. It's right there. You would have got it. That's what it is, Zen.
To know coming back from DabbleCon going, fuck, really? This is what we got to do? All right. Fuck.
That's what you had to deal with. What about the kids, Zen? And DabbleCon was 40 overweight mutants / drunks looking at you guys. DabbleCon doesn't compare anymore. Who gives a shit about DabbleCon? DabbleCon. You had a known predator with you for all these months. You saw the date there. May 26, 2023, there was a press release that your number one guy, the one who named the Uncle Rico show, was arrested. You didn't even have to do any research. It was a goddamn press release. All you need to know was his name. Stop making excuses, Bob. Gina, stop with the when you hear yourself making any excuse for this, stop and say, we messed up. There were plenty of red flags. And going forward, we know now what to look for, at least at a minimal. And at any point, just Google the person's name. Not many people have the FBI issuing a press release about them with regard to child porn. All right. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. I know it's a little summer. We'll lighten up on Wednesday. Hopefully I get some good news that they're going to help these kids out, try and find those victims, Bob, and make this a little more funny. We're going to get into John Errol Melendez returning with regard to the lawsuit. The lawsuit is still going forward. There has been no settlement. There has been talks, but no settlement. I'm not supposed to talk about the terms, but picture this in a hypothetical situation. Let's just say someone settles a case and it's a portion of the person's income going forward. Would you trust someone that's similar to John Errol Melendez to keep working if he has to pay you a percentage? I don't know. I would expect the Duke to not work just to spite me in the hypothetical situation, but I don't care either way. It will proceed forward until it's resolved, if it's resolved. If not, it goes forward. All right, I'll see you back here on Wednesday. Wednesday, 12 noon, hang with Vince. You in? Compromisable, Bob?
Compromisable.
All right, I'll see you back here on Wednesday. Again, do what you can, Bob, today, and Gina, to contact whatever authorities you can, whatever authorities to help those little victims out. No excuses either.